The royal family is finally doing what everyone's been screaming for. Meghan Markle is getting pushed out, and she's being lumped right in with the most disgraced royal of them all, Prince Andrew. Yes, you heard that right. The woman who thought she could waltz into the monarchy, rewrite the rules, and then trash the family on international television is now facing the same fate as a man whose scandals have haunted the crown for years. And honestly, it's about time, but here's where it gets absolutely wild. Word on the street suggests Meghan is now desperately trying to mend fences with Princess Kate before the new year. She's allegedly planning a trip to the UK, and insiders claim she's nervous, panicked even, about how the public will receive her. So her solution? Get Kate on board. Because apparently Meghan thinks that if she can convince the Princess of Wales to forgive and forget, the rest of the world will just magically fall in line. The audacity is truly staggering. Meanwhile, Prince William is reportedly plotting a bonfire of royal titles. When he becomes king, he's planning to use special executive orders to strip every single non-working royal of their honorific titles. That means Prince, Princess, His Royal Highness, Her Royal Highness, all of it, gone. And who's on that list? Harry, Meghan, Archie, Lilibet, Andrew, Beatrice, Eugenie. It's a complete royal purge, and sources close to William say he's not playing games anymore. He's had enough of the embarrassment, the scandals, the betrayals. He's cleaning house. But let's talk about Andrew for a second, because his downfall is directly tied to Meghan's. This man has been living rent-free, literally rent-free, for 35 years, taxpayer money funding his luxury lifestyle, while he dodges accountability for his connections and his disgraceful behavior. The public is furious, and rightfully so. Now William and Kate are leading the charge to boot him out of Royal Lodge, to strip him of every penny of taxpayer support, and to exile him from the family for good. And here's the kicker. Meghan's Netflix deal just got downgraded from an overall deal to a first-look deal, which is Hollywood speak for "you're not that important anymore." But instead of owning the failure, Meghan tried to spin it as a sign of strength and flexibility. Industry insiders aren't buying it. They're calling it delusional, pure wishful thinking, a desperate attempt to save face as her empire crumbles around her. So buckle up, because this is about to get messy. We're diving into William's title-stripping master plan, Andrew's disgraceful rent-free existence, Meghan's humiliating Netflix downgrade, and her laughable attempt to reconcile with Kate. The royal family is finally pushing back, and Meghan Markle is learning the hard way that you can't trash the crown and expect to keep your tiara. Prince William is done playing nice. When he becomes king, he's planning a sweeping reform that will shake the very foundation of the royal family. And the weapon of choice? Executive royal orders known as letters patent, which will be ratified by Parliament in the early weeks of his reign. What do these letters patent do? They strip every single non-working royal of their princely titles, their His Royal Highness and Her Royal Highness designations. Everything. It's a complete title wipeout, and it's coming. Now let's be clear about who this affects. Harry, Meghan, Archie, Lilibet, all losing their prince and princess titles. Beatrice and Eugenie, Andrew's daughters, they're on the chopping block too. The only royals who escape this purge are the working members of the family, the ones who actually show up, do their duty, and serve the crown without causing international scandals every other week. William is drawing a hard line in the sand, and sources close to him say this has been in the works for a while now. Friends and allies of Prince William told the Daily Beast that this isn't just about Harry and Meghan, though let's be honest, they're a huge part of it. This is about protecting the monarchy's reputation, about making sure that people who don't represent the crown can't use royal titles to boost their personal brands or Netflix deals. It's about accountability, something Meghan seems allergic to. But here's where it gets even more interesting. Andrew was encouraged years ago to give up his title as Duke of York after the revelations about his friendships and connections came to light. He refused. He clung to that title like his life depended on it, because in his world it did. That title gave him status, access, relevance. Without it, he's just another disgraced rich guy with nowhere to go. But the thing is, Andrew remains a prince because that title is protected by law. Well, William is planning to undo that protection entirely. The dramatic change will affect everyone. Duke of Sussex, Duchess of Sussex, Prince Archie, Princess Lilibet, all of it erased. Meghan won't be able to flash her Duchess title on her lifestyle brand or her podcasts or whatever vanity project she's cooking up next. Harry won't be able to trade on his prince status in Hollywood anymore. Their children will grow up without the titles that Meghan fought so hard to secure for them. And honestly, that's the part that probably stings the most for her, because she wanted those titles desperately. She wanted the legitimacy, the prestige, the marketability. William is betting that this move will send a message to the world. If you betray the family, if you embarrass the crown, if you cash in on your royal connection while trashing the institution, there are consequences, and those consequences are permanent. No more playing both sides. No more having your cake and eating it too. You're either in or you're out, and if you're out, you lose everything. Let's talk about Prince Andrew, because this man's story is absolutely infuriating. For 35 years, he lived rent-free, not a discount, not a reduced rate, completely free. Documents obtained by the Times reveal that he paid no rent on Sunninghill Park, his official residence, until 2004. And when he moved into Royal Lodge, guess what? Still no rent. The late Queen Elizabeth owned the property on a long lease and apparently just granted Andrew the right to live there at no cost. Must be nice, right? But it gets worse. When Andrew finally did pay something, it was £1 million for the lease plus £7.5 million for refurbishments of Royal Lodge. And that entitled him and his family to live at the property rent-free until 2078. Yes, you read that correctly. 2078. This man locked in a rent-free palace lifestyle for over 50 years while taxpayers foot the bill for his security, his upkeep, his lavish existence. The audacity is breathtaking. Now the British public is furious, and they should be. Calls are growing in Westminster for the disgraced Duke to be booted from his Grace and Favour Windsor residence. Liberal Democrats are urging him to return every penny of rent he hasn't paid while disgracing his office. Spoiler alert, that's never going to happen. But the pressure is mounting, and Prince William and Princess Kate are reportedly leading the charge to exile him from Royal Lodge once and for all. Sources say the Wales couple can't abide Andrew anymore. They're pushing for him to leave, and they want him barred from receiving any taxpayer cash going forward. The public is sick of him. He's embarrassed the royal family time and time again with his connections, his behavior, that disastrous interview where he came across as a privileged, out-of-touch creep. And honestly, he always seemed that way. The entitlement, the arrogance, the complete lack of accountability, it was all right there on display. But here's the thing that really connects Andrew's downfall to Meghan's situation. Both of them thought they were untouchable. Both of them believed their royal titles would protect them from consequences. Both of them cashed in on their royal connections while bringing nothing but shame and scandal to the crown. And now both of them are facing the same fate, disgraceful exits from the family. William is making it clear that the taxpayers shouldn't be footing the bill for Andrew to live in luxury ever again. The King Charles deserves credit for trying to handle this with some level of grace, but even his patience is wearing thin. The goal now is to ensure that Andrew goes off, leads a quiet life somewhere far away from the public eye, and never embarrasses the royal family or the country again. It's about time. The man has been a stain on the monarchy for years, and the fact that he's been living rent-free this entire time while ordinary people struggle to pay their bills is just salt in the wound. Now let's pivot to Meghan's latest embarrassment, because this one is truly spectacular. Her Netflix deal just got downgraded, and she's trying desperately to spin it as a good thing. Originally, Meghan and Harry had an overall deal with Netflix, similar to what the Obamas have with their Higher Ground production company. That overall deal meant Netflix was essentially bankrolling their projects, giving them resources, support, full production backing. It was a big deal, a lucrative deal, the kind of deal that makes Hollywood sit up and pay attention. But that deal came to its term, and instead of renewing it at the same level, Netflix downgraded them to a first-look deal. Now, if you don't know Hollywood terminology, let me explain what that means. A first-look deal is basically Netflix saying, bring us your ideas first, and if we like them, maybe we'll produce them. But you're not getting the same money, the same resources, or the same commitment. It's a step down, plain and simple. It's the entertainment industry equivalent of getting demoted, but being told it's actually a promotion. And how did Meghan try to frame this downgrade? As a sign of strength, as flexibility, as an exciting opportunity to shop content elsewhere, if Netflix doesn't want it. In a recent interview, she actually said, quote, "The extension was such an incredible sign of the strength of our partnership. We're now in a first-look deal, which is exciting because it gives us flexibility to go to our partners first and at the same time shop content that might not be the right fit for Netflix but has a home somewhere else. Good luck with that." Hollywood insiders are not buying this spin for 1 second. Sources close to the situation are calling it delusional wishful thinking. One industry insider put it bluntly, saying it's a clear step down. Netflix is keeping tight control. They're being paid to bring in ideas, not to run big productions. Trying to frame that as strength is pure delusion. Meghan is kidding herself, and honestly, can you blame people for calling this out? Her track record with Netflix has been dismal. The projects she's produced haven't delivered the numbers Netflix expected. The investment hasn't paid off. So Netflix did what any smart business does. They cut their losses and downgraded the deal. But Meghan can't admit that. She can't admit that her brand isn't as valuable as she thought it was. She can't admit that Hollywood doesn't worship her the way she assumed they would. So instead, she spins it. She puts on a brave face, does an interview, and pretends that losing a multi-million-dollar overall deal and getting bumped down to a first-look arrangement is actually a win. It's textbook Meghan. Rewrite the narrative, gaslight the public, and hope nobody notices the truth. The reality is this: her Netflix empire is crumbling, her productions have flopped, her brand is in freefall, and no amount of spin, no matter how carefully crafted, can hide the fact that she's losing her grip on the Hollywood dream she sacrificed her royal life to chase. And just when you think Meghan's situation couldn't get more desperate, here comes the latest rumor. She's allegedly ready to move forward with Princess Kate. Yes, you read that right. The same woman who spent years trashing the royal family, who sat down with Oprah and made thinly veiled accusations about racism, who wrote a tell-all memoir through Harry that painted Kate as cold and unwelcoming, now supposedly wants to mend fences. The timing is absolutely convenient, isn't it? Sources tell Star magazine that Meghan is hoping to be on better terms with her sister-in-law before the new year. Apparently, she's planning a trip to the UK soon, and insiders say it's just a matter of finalizing the timing, but it will most likely happen before Christmas, so she's got a couple of months to orchestrate this reconciliation tour, and she's counting on Kate to play along. But here's where it gets really interesting. The source claims Meghan is nervous about this trip. She's reportedly panicking about how the British public will receive her, which is hilarious considering she brought all of this on herself. And her solution to soften public opinion? Get Kate on board. The source says Meghan is desperate to get ahead of the narrative. She knows that getting Kate on board would massively help her image. If the public sees her making a genuine effort to heal old wounds, and if they see Kate accepting her back, it's bound to soften their feelings toward her. Except there's one massive problem with this plan. Why on earth would Kate agree to this? Kate has been nothing but dignified and classy throughout this entire mess. She's kept her head down, done her duty, supported her family, and never once stooped to Meghan's level of public drama. She's recovering from serious health challenges, focusing on her children, and standing by William as he prepares for his future as king. Does anyone seriously believe she's gonna drop everything and welcome Meghan back with open arms just to help Meghan's public image? It's laughable. But the most audacious part of this whole story? According to the source, Meghan is still wary of Kate and not sure if she can trust her. Let me repeat that. Meghan, the woman who betrayed the family on international television, who aired private conversations and grievances to millions of people, who profited off trashing the royals, is now claiming she's not sure if she can trust Kate. The irony is absolutely staggering. The hypocrisy is off the charts. And if this report is true, if these are really Meghan's thoughts, then the audacity of this woman knows no bounds. Let's just pause for a moment and really absorb the absurdity of what we just heard. Meghan Markle, the woman who sat across from Oprah Winfrey and lobbed grenade after grenade at the royal family, is now saying she's not sure if she can trust Kate. The woman who allowed her husband to publish intimate details about a bridesmaid dress argument in his memoir, who let private family conversations become tabloid fodder, who turned every grievance into a global headline, is now worried about trust. It's almost impressive how delusional this sounds. According to the source, while Meghan is telling people she's ready to forgive, forget, and move forward, she's simultaneously expressing doubt about whether Kate can be trusted. The cognitive dissonance is absolutely stunning. What exactly does Meghan think Kate is going to do? Leak their conversation to the press? Betray her confidence? Use private moments for personal gain? Because from where everyone's standing, those are Meghan's moves, not Kate's. Kate has spent years proving herself to be the complete opposite of everything Meghan represents. She's discreet, loyal, and fiercely protective of the royal family's privacy. She's never once run to the media with her side of the story, even when she had every reason to defend herself against Meghan's accusations. She's never written a book, never done a tell-all interview, never tried to monetize her royal position. She's the epitome of grace under pressure, and for Meghan to question her trustworthiness is genuinely mind-blowing. But this is classic Meghan behavior, isn't it? She projects her own tactics onto other people. She assumes everyone operates the way she does, that everyone's looking for an angle, that everyone's ready to sell out for the right price or the right headline. She can't fathom that some people actually value loyalty and discretion, because those concepts seem completely foreign to her worldview. And let's talk about what forgiveness even means in this context. Meghan says she's ready to forgive and forget. Forgive what exactly? Forgive Kate for not rolling out the red carpet when Meghan joined the family? Forgive her for allegedly not lending Meghan lip gloss before a wedding, a story that somehow made it into a best-selling memoir? Forgive her for not immediately embracing Meghan's Hollywood way of doing things? The grievances Meghan holds are so petty, so manufactured, that the idea she's magnanimously offering forgiveness is almost offensive. Meanwhile, what Kate would have to forgive is substantial. The lies, the accusations, the public humiliation, the years of being painted as cold and unwelcoming when she was just trying to maintain boundaries and protect her family. Kate would have to forgive the fact that Meghan weaponized private moments for public sympathy and profit. She'd have to overlook the fact that Meghan's actions have caused immense pain to William, to their children, to the entire family. So when Meghan says she's not sure if she can trust Kate, what she's really revealing is her own guilty conscience. She knows what she's done, and she's projecting that untrustworthiness onto someone who's never given her a reason to doubt. Now let's bring Harry into this mess, because apparently he's playing a significant role in pushing this reconciliation fantasy forward. According to sources, Harry has been encouraging Meghan to make this trip to the UK and attempt to clear the air with Kate. Why? Because he's convinced that if Meghan and Kate can patch things up, it will automatically smooth things over with William too. And honestly, that logic is so simplistic, so painfully naive that it almost hurts to think about. Harry seems to believe that his brother's fury, his sense of betrayal, his protective instincts toward his wife and family will all just magically disappear if the women make nice, as if William's issues with Harry and Meghan are simply about a personality clash between the wives, as if the years of lies, the Oprah interview, the memoir that exposed private conversations, the constant media manipulation, the trashing of the institution William will one day lead, as if all of that will be forgiven because Meghan and Kate have tea and take a photo together. It's delusional thinking at its finest. William isn't angry because Kate and Meghan don't get along. William is angry because Harry and Meghan betrayed the family, weaponized their royal status for profit, and caused immeasurable damage to the monarchy's reputation. William is angry because his brother chose Hollywood fame and victim narratives over family loyalty. William is angry because Harry allowed intimate details about Catherine's life to be published for the world to consume. Those wounds don't heal with a simple reconciliation photo opportunity, but Harry is desperate. His Hollywood dreams are crumbling right alongside Meghan's. The Netflix deal is downgraded. The Spotify deal ended in disaster. Their relevance is fading fast, and the only card they have left to play is the royal connection, the very connection they spent years trashing. So now they're trying to claw their way back, not because they've genuinely changed or because they're truly remorseful, but because they need the royal family more than the royal family needs them. And Harry, bless his heart, actually thinks this plan will work. He thinks that if Meghan can win Kate over, everything else will fall into place. He's encouraging her to go, to make the gesture, to play the peacemaker, because he's convinced this is their path back into the fold. But what he's failing to understand is that William isn't the same brother he left behind. William has hardened. He's watched Harry prioritize money and fame over family. He's watched Meghan manipulate situations and play the victim while attacking the people William loves most. He's done. The truth is, even if Kate were somehow willing to forgive and move forward, which is a massive if, it wouldn't change William's stance. William is protecting his wife, his children, and the future of the monarchy. He's not going to let Harry and Meghan waltz back in just because they suddenly need the family again. The bridge isn't just burned, it's completely obliterated, and no amount of reconciliation theater between Meghan and Kate is going to rebuild it. So here's the million-dollar question that everyone's asking. If Harry and Meghan actually do attempt this reconciliation, who's more likely to show forgiveness, William or Kate? And honestly, the answer is pretty clear. Kate is almost certainly the more forgiving of the two, not because she's naive or weak, but because she's strategic, compassionate, and understands the bigger picture in ways that go beyond personal hurt. Kate has always been the peacemaker in this family. She's the one who tried to facilitate conversations between William and Harry after Prince Philip's funeral. She's the one who's maintained a level of grace and dignity, even when she had every right to lash out. She understands that forgiveness doesn't mean forgetting, and it doesn't mean trusting blindly. It means rising above the pettiness and choosing not to let bitterness consume you. That's who Kate is at her core. But here's the thing. Kate being more open to forgiveness doesn't mean she's going to be a pushover. It doesn't mean she'll welcome Meghan back with open arms and pretend the last few years never happened. Kate is far too intelligent for that. If she does choose to extend any olive branch, it will be calculated, carefully controlled, and done with full awareness of Meghan's track record. She'll keep her guard up, protect her family, and make sure that any reconciliation happens on her terms, not Meghan's. William, on the other hand, is a completely different story. William is furious, and rightfully so. He's watched his brother betray the family repeatedly. He's seen his wife dragged through the mud in the media. He's witnessed his father, his grandmother, everyone he loves, treated as collateral damage in Harry and Meghan's quest for fame and fortune. William isn't the forgiving type when it comes to threats against his family. He's protective, he's fierce, and he's not interested in playing nice for the cameras. Sources close to William have said he's done with Harry. Not temporarily frustrated, not cooling off. Done. He's moved on. He's focused on his role as future king, on protecting his children, on supporting Kate through her health challenges, and on preparing for the massive responsibility that's coming his way. Harry and Meghan are not part of that future, and William has made peace with that reality. So while Kate might be more open to some level of civility, possibly for the sake of family unity or to avoid further public drama, William is the immovable wall. He's the one who will veto any reconciliation attempts. He's the one who will make it clear that Harry and Meghan burned the bridge beyond repair. And honestly, can anyone blame him? After everything they've done, after all the lies and manipulation and betrayal, why should William forgive? The reality is this: even if Kate softens, even if she extends some measure of grace, it won't matter, because William holds the power here, and he's not budging. The door is closed, locked, and barricaded. Let's circle back to the Prince Andrew situation for a moment, because the public outrage over his taxpayer-funded lifestyle is reaching a boiling point. And honestly, it's completely justified. British taxpayers have been footing the bill for this man's security, his upkeep, his luxury existence, all while he's contributed absolutely nothing to society except scandal after scandal. The anger is palpable and it's growing louder by the day. Liberal Democrats in Westminster are now publicly calling for Andrew to return every single penny of rent he hasn't paid over the past 35 years. They're demanding he reimburse the taxpayers for decades of living rent-free while disgracing his office and embarrassing the nation. Now, realistically, is Andrew going to cut a check for millions of pounds? Absolutely not. That'll be the day. But the fact that elected officials are making these demands shows just how fed up the public has become. One representative put it bluntly, saying the taxpayers shouldn't be footing the bill for Andrew to live in luxury homes ever again. He shouldn't have taxpayer subsidies going forward. Period. And you know what? That's exactly right. Why should hardworking people who are struggling to pay their own rent and mortgages be forced to subsidize a disgraced royal's palace lifestyle? It's offensive, it's insulting, and it needs to stop immediately. The Crown is now facing massive pressure to evict Andrew from Royal Lodge entirely. Calls are coming from all corners, demanding that he be removed from grace and favor housing and forced to make his own way in life like everyone else. He's embarrassed the royal family time and time again. He's brought nothing but shame to the monarchy. And yet he's still living in luxury on the taxpayers' dime. The disconnect is staggering. King Charles deserves some credit for trying to handle this situation with a degree of respect and discretion. He's reportedly been working behind the scenes to encourage Andrew to step back, live quietly, and stop drawing negative attention to the family. But even Charles's patience has limits, and those limits are rapidly being reached. The goal now is to ensure Andrew disappears from public life entirely, that he stops embarrassing the country, and that he never receives another penny of taxpayer money. And here's where the parallel to Meghan becomes impossible to ignore. Both Andrew and Meghan have been accused of essentially grifting off the royal family. Both have used their royal connections for personal gain while bringing nothing but scandal and controversy. Both have shown zero accountability for their actions, and both are now facing the consequences of their choices. The public is done with them, the family is done with them, and the purge is happening whether they like it or not. The taxpayers have every right to be furious. They've been funding Andrew's lavish lifestyle for decades while he's done nothing to deserve it. And now finally there's a real push to cut him off entirely. It's about accountability, it's about fairness, and it's about sending a clear message that royal titles don't grant immunity from consequences. So here we are, watching two very different people face eerily similar fates. Prince Andrew and Meghan Markle, both being pushed out of the royal family in disgrace, both losing their grip on the titles and privileges they once took for granted. The symmetry is almost poetic. Two individuals who believed they were untouchable, who thought their royal status would shield them from accountability, now discovering that the monarchy has limits and consequences are real. Andrew's exile has been building for years. His connections, his disastrous interview, his refusal to step back gracefully, all of it has led to this moment where even his own family wants him gone. The public despises him. Parliament is calling for his head, and William is preparing to strip him of every last shred of royal dignity when he becomes king. Andrew's legacy is destroyed, his reputation in tatters, and there's no coming back from this. He'll be remembered as the disgraced prince who lived rent-free for decades while embarrassing the crown. Meghan's exile is different in nature but equally devastating. She walked into the royal family with grand ambitions, dreams of modernizing the monarchy and becoming a global icon. But instead of working within the system, she tried to tear it down from the inside. She played the victim, weaponized race and mental health for sympathy, and then cashed in on her royal connection while simultaneously destroying it. Now her Hollywood dreams are crumbling, her deals are getting downgraded, and her desperation is showing in these pathetic reconciliation attempts. The public appetite for justice is fierce. People want to see Andrew stripped of his titles, his subsidies, his access to taxpayer money. They want him exiled completely, forced to live as a private citizen with no royal perks whatsoever. And the same energy is building around Meghan and Harry. People are tired of watching them play both sides, tired of the victimhood narratives, tired of the hypocrisy. They want the titles gone. They want the royal connection severed permanently. And William is apparently ready to deliver exactly that. His plan to strip non-working royals of their titles isn't just about modernizing the monarchy or streamlining the institution. It's about accountability. It's about making sure that people who betray the family, who embarrass the crown, who use their royal status for personal gain, face real consequences. No more half measures. No more letting people keep one foot in and one foot out. You're either committed to serving the monarchy, or you're out completely. For Andrew, this means losing everything. For Meghan and Harry, it means watching their children grow up without the prince and princess titles Meghan fought so desperately to secure. It means losing the Duke and Duchess designations that gave them legitimacy in Hollywood. It means their royal brand, the only thing keeping them relevant, will be ripped away permanently. The royal family is finally cleaning house. The dead weight is being cut loose. The embarrassments are being pushed out. And honestly, it's long overdue. The monarchy's survival depends on protecting its reputation, and that means exiling the people who threaten it. So what does the future actually hold for Meghan, Harry, and Andrew? Let's be brutally honest here. None of them are coming back from this. The fantasy that Meghan can waltz into the UK, have a heart-to-heart with Kate, and suddenly everything will be forgiven, is exactly that, a fantasy. William isn't going to allow it. The British public isn't going to accept it. And frankly, Kate herself probably has no interest in being used as a prop in Meghan's latest PR rehabilitation scheme. The reality is that William's plan to strip titles is moving forward whether Meghan likes it or not. When he becomes king, those letters patent will be drawn up, ratified by Parliament, and executed without hesitation. Prince Archie and Princess Lilibet will lose their titles. Duke and Duchess of Sussex will be erased. Harry will be stripped of his princely designation. Everything Meghan thought she secured for her family will vanish in an instant, and there's nothing she can do to stop it. Andrew's fate is even more sealed. He's lost whatever minimal public support he might have had. His family wants him gone. The taxpayers are demanding justice, and even if he manages to cling to Royal Lodge for a few more years based on that lease agreement, his days of receiving any form of royal support or taxpayer funding are numbered. He'll be forced into complete obscurity, stripped of his titles and his relevance, left to live out the rest of his life in disgrace. But here's what's really fascinating about all of this. Meghan's desperate attempt to reconcile with Kate reveals just how much trouble she's actually in. Her brand is failing. Her Netflix deal is downgraded. Hollywood isn't rolling out the red carpet anymore. And without the royal connection, without the ability to trade on that Duchess title, she has nothing. She's just another former actress with delusions of grandeur and a history of burning bridges. So she's coming back, hat in hand, trying to mend fences because she needs the royal family now more than they've ever needed her. But it's too late. The damage is done. The bridges are burned. And William, who holds all the power here, has made it abundantly clear that there's no path back. The British public is watching all of this unfold with a mixture of satisfaction and vindication. They've been calling for accountability for years, demanding that Andrew face consequences, insisting that Meghan and Harry shouldn't be allowed to have it both ways. And now, finally, they're getting what they've been asking for. The purge is happening. The titles are being stripped. The exiles are permanent. Meghan can try all she wants to soften public opinion. She can attempt reconciliation tours and carefully orchestrated PR moves, but none of it matters anymore. The royal family is done with her. William is done with her, and the public has moved on. Her 15 minutes of royal fame are over, and what's left is a failed brand, a downgraded Netflix deal, and a future that looks nothing like the fairy tale she once imagined. Game over. So what do you think? Is William right to strip these titles? Will Kate ever truly forgive Meghan? Drop your thoughts below, like, subscribe, and stay tuned. The next video is waiting, and you won't believe what's coming next.